Hello and welcome to the Change Gang podcast with me, your host, Laura Ordile. I'm here to help you hold on to your sanity and your soul as you move through big change. I'm here to guide you from frustration to flow in your life, bridging the practical and the woo, just for you. Let's go. Welcome to the week, Change Gang. Here we go. We're going to talk today about opening the doors to money, to abundance, to the things that you want in your life. Okay, we're going to talk about a few different things here. Energy, mindset, which for me, of course, encompasses the subconscious, and action, inspired action. Sometimes what you might feel is really practical action, sometimes not. Because oftentimes when we have that inspired action, it doesn't always feel logical, doesn't feel practical, but it will open the doors. And sometimes just taking the steps yourself, whether it's inspired or not, is an important thing to do. So let's start way back in your childhood, because that's where a lot of things get based off of. And it's true, they do. I heard someone talking one time and they talked about how basically, kids are in a constant state of hypnosis for about the first 7 years of their life. How amazing is that? And how scary is that? So what you're putting in and giving them in terms of thoughts and words and actions and all of those things, they are, as they say, absorbing like a sponge. So that's what you did growing up. That's where you were. And it makes a difference because you're hearing things, you hear things even in the womb. You know that. We know that. Everyone knows that as the mind is learning and processing and doing all of those things. So even if there's stuff going on around you, maybe your parents are having money conversations or doing all those things, you're hearing it. And as a child, you're hearing it. And oftentimes as adults, and you know this now, and you probably didn't realize it as a child, but kids are listening. And we don't think about how much they're listening. Even if they're watching a TV show, even if they're playing, distracted, doing things, the subconscious is listening. And so we are giving them information about life, if you're talking about all the bills that are not paid, if you're talking about the horrible situation at work and all of those things, the subconscious is grabbing that and going, oh, okay, let's add that to where we are. Let's add that. And I'm not saying that every time you say something negative, it's going to imprint on the child or anything like that. Some of it's going to be filtered out or sorted because you have more of the positive stuff that's coming through. So always add that positive stuff. Add the things that are there. That's why so often they'd say when you're teaching children, the more you can say yes to them, the better. The more often you say no, it kind of stunts things a little bit. It makes things difficult. And then the subconscious starts to filter out the no, because that's the only information it's getting. And it's going, well, this is what we've got. Let's deal with this. And so it kind of anchors in the things we don't want anchored in. So say yes as often as you can and redirect in a way that allows them to have the positive things in there. So for the first 7 years, whatever you heard around money or felt energy, you feel the energy, right, is what you kind of came up into the world with. And that's just how it is. So then you can change those things or you can live in those things. And that's up to you. That's up to you to decide what you want to do with that. And you can change it, but you have to come into a bit of an awareness that there are things that you need to change. And oftentimes when you think you've done all the things, dealt with all the things, something else will come up or you're not even aware of it. I've told this story before, but there's a story of I was driving around during the work that I had. I drove around quite a bit and I would drive around and all of a sudden one time I noticed that I would see people in these expensive cars, sports cars, nice, even just big, you could tell they were big, expensive cars. And I would think, geez, that's ridiculous, or that's a waste, or that's what, and I would instantly have a negative reaction to it. And then all of a sudden one day I thought, what is going on? What is happening here? And so I had to kind of sit back and go, wow, I don't want to have those thoughts. I want to have good thoughts around people spending money on what they want. My want might be a little bit different, but their want is that, and they're having fun with that, and they're enjoying that, and they're driving around in their beautiful new Corvette or their wonderful new car with the top down and enjoying the sunshine and everything. And it feels so good for them. So why are you having some sort of negative reaction to that? Tap into the goodness of it. Tap into, oh my gosh, look at that. And you know what? If I wanted that, I could have that. And maybe not today, but if that was my dream, then of course that would be something I would want to go, yes, I want to be in that. And so I had to recognize and acknowledge that that was there. And so every time now when I see cars and I see something, and have I caught myself going back to that every now and then? Yeah. But for the most part, when I see something, it's like, oh, how exciting for them. That's so wonderful. And so I flipped that in my mind. I flipped that negative reaction. And we don't realize sometimes how negative we are on things. Do you ever walk into a store and go, geez, that's expensive? Or, oh my God, they want that much money for me to work with them? Or, oh wow, I can't imagine ever paying that for that. Shoes, jewelry. Some people might have reactions to meals that way, to all the different things. And it is hard when you're out there and things are rising all the time. The cost of living is going up on a regular basis, to not have those negative thoughts and saying sometimes is okay. But if you're constantly noticing yourself in that space, start flipping it. And you know what I did one time? And this is a really good exercise. And it was harder than I thought, but I tried to not say or think anything negative for I think it was 24 hours, just 24 hours. And I took that for a few days, actually. I tried to do it, but I started with that 24 hours. And so I put a conscious effort into noticing my thoughts, noticing, what are you thinking right now? Or set a timer so that you can do this. Set a timer for every hour, every half hour, for a day, for one day, and see, what am I thinking right now? What was I thinking about that person that I don't like? What was I thinking about oh gosh, that's going to cost this much money to repair? How many negative thoughts was I having? More than I thought. And so I had to start flipping them and switching them. And did I do it all with every one of them? Probably not. But I started noticing. And so I put myself in a frame of mind for a while of catching myself and turning it into something positive. I had to do that at one point at the work that I was doing, because I was pretty unhappy for a fair amount of time. And I felt horrible going into the day. I literally cried going to work for a good while. And all of that affects opening the door to money and abundance in love and relationships and abundance in your career and abundance in all of these things. Because if you're constantly in that feeling, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be there for you. Does that mean that if you're in a difficult situation, you can't manifest? No, it doesn't. It means that you can change the way you're feeling inside always. And you hear me talk about this as well. You can be okay even if outside circumstances are not great, because you have control over what you're doing in your mind. Now, here's the thing. Here is the thing. When you're doing that, you're working with the subconscious. And oftentimes we come in going, I don't know what's blocking me. I don't know what's there. I feel like there's something that's kind of just stopping me from doing what I want to do, from moving forward, from opening the door to the abundance that I want. And this is where, of course, we're talking about mindset already, but when you go into that subconscious, because we don't always know what was told to us as a child, some things might be underneath that we're not seeing, that we're not hearing, or that we just don't understand why we have that reaction to something, why we feel so insecure about money, why we feel the lack, the constant lack. And maybe you did grow up with lack, but oftentimes this can happen even if you grew up in a wealthy environment. There's something there that is like, oh my goodness, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel icky about money? Or why do I constantly, have it going out but not coming in? Or why is it not easy for me to make money? All of those things. And oftentimes there are things in our subconscious that we are not aware of. And that's where I bring in NLP, hypnosis, working with the subconscious, subliminals. Oh my gosh, I love subliminals when it comes to working with abundance and money and clearing the blocks. And actually, I've been doing this with myself because I had something come up where it's finally like, I don't know what's there. It's time to clear it though. And so, yes, of course, I use hypnosis on myself. And I've been working with that, and it's feeling better and better and opening the doors more and more. Am I aware of what it is? I think a little bit. I did come into an awareness finally of what maybe I think that was. And so I had to go in and have that conversation with myself, with the subconscious, and say, it's okay. It's okay. Let's change it. It's okay. And until the subconscious knows you're safe and okay and doing what you want to be doing, and that it's not going to affect you in a negative way, even if there is a little bit of blowback, even if it does create a bunch of outside change, you are going to be okay. When you get that into the subconscious, then you can allow yourself to move forward. So just doing that with myself right now and coming to the realization through the frustration, through all of that, finally I'm like, well, geez, Laura, you do this. This is what you do. Go in and do this for yourself. We're the last ones to do anything, right? When you have the skills to do things, go in and tap into the subconscious and let it go in and remove and clear the way for you in ways that you aren't even aware of, to clear the blocks going forward. And if you want to have the awareness of them, absolutely do that too. Bring in that part of it and bring the awareness to yourself so that you can say, okay, so when I feel that coming up, here's what's going on. And I know that I can move to the other side of it. All right. So I think I skipped one of the things I wanted to make sure I said in the energetic level, but I'll bring this in now, because for the subconscious, it's a great thing now as well. So at the energetic level, at that mindset, subconscious level, bring in things that make you feel wealthy. And why do I say that at the subconscious level? Because we need anchors for our subconscious to grab onto, to say, that's right. That's where I want to be. That's the energy I want to be in. That's the feeling I want to be in. So let's go find more of that. Always. The subconscious wants that, needs that. So that's why I talk about using color as anchors oftentimes, but you bring in things, and they don't have to be big things, that make you feel wealthy. Maybe it is having a dinner out once in a while. Maybe it is a new outfit. Maybe it is wearing a beautiful piece of jewelry that you have. Wear it. Wear it more often than you need to. Wear it while you're doing things around the house, not something that's going to obviously damage it or cause any problems, but bring in that sense of wealth. Bring out the good china, things like that. You have to do this for yourself because it really does bring a kinesthetic, tactile way of feeling the wealth, of feeling even more of the emotion. Because when you can literally feel those things that help you feel wealthy, then it's going to make a difference for you. It absolutely is. I read something years ago about keeping a large bill in your wallet, just so that when you go and you open your wallet, and we do this so much now because we use cards and we have all that, but I don't care if it's $20 bill, a $50 bill, $100 bill, $500 in your wallet with you, so that when you go, you know it's there. You open up space, you see it. That's right. I have money. I have money right there. And you know what? Sometimes I've forgotten about it. And then all of a sudden it's like, I need a little extra money. And I think, oh, I've got that money in my wallet. All of a sudden, I have plenty of money. Do I end up spending it? I have spent it before, but I've been able to replace it. So yay. Now all of a sudden I feel super wealthy. Have something, put money in a space where if you're not comfortable having it in your wallet, put it in your drawer next to your bed, where when you open it up for something, you see the money. You have fun with it. It feels good. And like I said, even if it's $20 that is going to make a difference for you, put that in there. So bring those in. That's an energetic thing. That's a mindset thing. It brings in both of them. And then that third part, inspired action, or even just taking action. Step outside of your comfort zone. This is a big one. All right. And I tell this to people all the time. And those that listen to me see success, see things that come in, have that actually happen. Because oftentimes we're so locked into this little box of what's comfortable for us, what we can spend on this, what we can spend on that. And especially if you're looking for a big change in your life, then look outside of those boundaries to what is possible. If you are looking for a new home, open the radius of where it would be acceptable to you. A new job, same thing. Open up the boundaries of what you want to see in that new job. What are the possibilities? What are the fields that you haven't looked at yet that might play into the skills that you have? What are the things that you can really bring in that you hadn't thought about? So when you're looking for a house, I'm just going to use this as an example. You have a price range. Take that up, even a couple $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. Open that up just a little bit. You can open it up wider and see what comes into your view. Maybe you have to, because of the way the settings are, you have to open it up $25,000 or $50,000. Do that. That doesn't commit you to getting that particular house. And you're like, yes, but then it's going to show me all the ones that are outside of what's possible. Not necessarily. It might open up the one that is really open to negotiation, but that is at that $10,000 limit in the next range. And who knows what you can come into when you start looking at it. Maybe you can negotiate it down 10,000. Maybe you can open up the abundance in your own life to bring in an extra 10,000 to be able to get that. You just don't know what the possibilities are because you have to know that it's not always just about you. You're working at that energetic level. When I say energetic level, universal level, the universal level. And I'll talk about that in just a minute on how to let the universe do some things for you. But open up the boundaries of what's okay. You can always bring it back in and say, ooh, I saw that. And yes, that's wonderful, but no, that's not what's for me. Like in the job market, when you open up that realm a little bit, you go, ooh, there's all these jobs out there for that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Yet that one doesn't have what I want, or that one is a little outside of what I want. But maybe then you find the one that is like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. And that's in a wage range that I would love. It's a little bit different work than I expected, but let me look into that a little bit. Even if you go and you apply for the job and you interview for it and all of that, you don't have to say yes to it, but you opened up the energy for the possibility. And that's what's important here, is to open it up. And here's an example of that in simple everyday terms. When you go to the store, buy the brand that you love. I don't care if it's mayonnaise, if it's a bottle of champagne, if it's toothpaste, buy the one that is maybe $1 or $2 more, $1 or $2. That's it. And I know sometimes that can be a lot, but when you're giving and stretching and doing that, you don't have to do it every time. Go in and feel the luxury of, I love this. I'm going to buy that for myself. It might be buying the organic raspberries at $3 more instead of the other ones, but it makes you feel abundant and wonderful because you are treating yourself well. And that will open up the energy. It's brought in an action that you're doing. It's brought in that mindset, the kinesthetic part for the subconscious. It's done all of those things. So now another action for you to do. Here's a couple of them. And these are some of the things I said I would tell you about with the universe too. Create the list of what you want. I can't tell you how many times before I ever even knew this stuff worked, I have found lists because I just thought, oh, here's what I want. Here's what I want. I have found little tiny lists stuffed in places and I look at them and go, dang, I have all of that. That's pretty incredible. It's magic. And it is magic. Write it down. And here's another thing. So when you're writing, you're activating the subconscious, you're anchoring in for the things that you want, and you're bringing it out into the world, the universe, the energy. You don't ever have to show it to anyone, but make the list, create a list of what you want, not what you don't want, what you want. It can be big things, little things. Maybe you're not sure, but you know that you kind of want this. Well, put that on there, even if you don't know the specifics yet. Also, you can add in a vision board or a vision book. I have both. And you know what? I need to get back to my list because I've gotten more visual with it. But that action of writing is really important. So I'm talking to myself at the moment. But a vision book, a vision board are awesome. Now, here's the trick with those. People will say they don't work. Here's one of the reasons why. Because you look at them with lack. You look at them and go, shit, I don't have that yet. Why don't I have that? Dang it, this isn't working. Instead of looking at it with excitement. Ooh, look what's possible. Look what's possible in my life. Has that shown up in any way yet? Have I had a piece of that? And oftentimes I do that with trips that I want to take. So I had Ireland on my board. I've got Scotland on there right now. And so I find pieces of them when I see a beautiful picture of it, and I'll print it out and I put it on my board. Words are great. Places you want to go to, things you want to see, like the Kelpies, like the Isle of Skye for me, those things. You can print out words. You can make your list and print the words out and put those in your book and on your thing. And then you start to notice, ooh, am I seeing more of that? Have I made more friends in Scotland lately? Have I started looking at the trips? Because that's another action you can take. Start looking at the things that you want to come into your life. And how would you spend your money if you had more money? What would you have it go into? Because when you start to direct that, more possibility opens up. I can tell you how many things I've been gifted with because I was like, oh, yes, I want that. Yes, absolutely. Did I receive the actual money? No, I received that and I didn't have to pay the money for it. I just was thinking of this the other day. I'm like, wow, that's great. We got this. We were going to have to do something anyway. We got this discount on it. Well, I got this free book. I got this free recording. I got this free course. I mean, wow, it's incredible. It's incredible. And make sure that you're acknowledging those things. That's a super important thing to be doing. But create that list and those pictures and look at them with excitement. Also, notice what you notice that's around you, because the universe will start to show you the things that you're looking for and the things that you want. And sometimes that's wealth. And you will be around and see more and more wealthy people in the periphery of you. And instead of going, dang, they have what I don't, I want that. How come they get it and I don't? Go, wow, look at that. I'm getting closer and closer to it. The universe is showing me exactly what I've been asking for. So it's bringing it into my energy field. It's bringing it closer and closer to me. I get to exchange and be a part of the energy with these people. I get to associate with these people. I get to have the beautiful car show up right next to me. I get to have the email about that a crazy awesome Scotland itinerary that's there for me. The universe does that for you. They bring those people, those things, all of those. So it's a beautiful version of excitement instead of jealousy and envy. Shift that energy just over the border into excitement and anticipation. And when you can start to do that, you're bringing it into the positive, taking away the negative, and feeling better about yourself. Doesn't that feel better? It does. It absolutely does. Here's another thing that you can do. And this is super fun. When you have to make a list of the things that you want and the things that you need to do and the things that need to happen in your life for you to get XYZ, make that list. Make a list of, well, this would need to happen for me to do this. This would need to happen this way. And then once you have your list of things, make a second list right next to it of what you would like the universe to do for you. What would you like for it to do for you? And it might be bring in more money, bring the person that is right for me into my life, bring the opportunities for this new career into my life, introduce me to the people that I need to know, introduce me to the software that I need, introduce me to the best possible version of what I need to do next. Do that and then let it go. Set it there and leave it and come back to it maybe next week and look at it and go, did the universe bring me anything in there? And you will see things that showed up for you. You absolutely will. Okay. And here's another one. And I come across things all the time about manifesting. And, when you're new to manifesting, all of these things are wonderful. Some of these things I do all the time. I go in and out of. A gratitude journal is a great thing to do. It's absolutely where you can write 5 things a day that you're grateful for. Sometimes it is, I'm grateful that I got to see the sunrise today. I'm grateful that my home is here to keep me comfortable. I'm grateful that the day is over. Depending on when you're writing your grateful points in your journal. Another thing that you can do when I talked about that list, there's a couple different things, and these are kind of similar. There's a 5 times 55, and this came up because it was a flashback to what someone else had me do at one point, or suggested I do, didn't have me do, but they suggested you can write your desire, your affirmation, your whatever it is. So if you want $10,000 unexpected income in the next month, 3 months, whatever's reasonable to your brain, stretch it again just outside those limits. So if it's absolutely possible in 3 months, take it down to 2 months. Is that pushing me just a little bit? Maybe. Would I want to go down to 1? Does that feel wholly impossible or kind of possible? It feels kind of possible. Go with it. If it's totally impossible, stretch it to that 2-month period. There you go. Or you can change the amount of money, whatever it is. Write it down. And this 2 different ways I've seen this. Or one was 55 times for 5 days in a row. You're anchoring in, kinesthetic, you're getting it in there. You're allowing yourself the possibility. So 55 times over 5 days. Is the number 5 significant? I'm not sure. It was just something that I happened to come across. Another one is 369. And that is 3, you write this out 3 times in the morning, 6 times at lunch, 9 times at bedtime. And you do that for, I think it was 33 or 45 days. I love the number 33. So I would say 33 days, do that. That's not that much. There's some wonderful ways to do it. And gratitude is always a wonderful thing to add in. And my tip there is say thank you as often as you can throughout the day. When you're walking from one place to the next, just think it. And if you want to say it, say it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You will start having things come in your mind to say thank you to. Wrap it up. Energetic. Get the energy right. Bring in the things that will help you feel at that energetic level. And notice the energy around you of, are you bringing in the energy of wealth? Are you having friends constantly talk to you about how broke they are? Do you need to switch that up a little bit and maybe not talk to that one person quite as much for a while? Maybe you do. Maybe you do. One of my likes. Just about out. And that's okay. Just take a break from that and bring in the positive, or shift the conversation when they're talking about the negative. Shift it into something positive. Energy is important. And when you're bringing yourself into an okay energy, feeling good, doing that, that is wonderful. Mindset and subconscious, tap in, use hypnosis, use NLP, use the subliminal recordings that I talked about. And yes, of course, you can go to my website. I have them all around positive money mindset. They're like $11. They're not expensive. Go in there, get yourself a couple of those. They make a difference. You have to listen to them. Listen to mantras, recordings, meditations, all of those things that are out there that are going to help with the subconscious change. And if you're really feeling those big blocks, then absolutely go to the hypnosis round of doing that. And then inspired action or action. And I don't even know if I talked about the practicalities or the not practicals. Sometimes you have inspired action that doesn't feel practical or logical. Do it anyway. Have fun with it and let it not matter to you whether it makes progress or not. Just go, you know what? I have this idea of doing this. I'm going to go ahead and step in and see where that takes me. Play with it. Have that playful attitude of it. And take the practical actions as well. Step in and do the thing. Do what's next. Check out the adventures that you want to take. Go in and look at, what would that actually cost to do that? Step in and take, what would it cost to work with a coach, to work with someone at the hypnotic level? What would it do so that I can change this process? Step in and say, I need to set up a website. What are the options in that? And don't get overwhelmed with it. Just explore and go, yeah, that's interesting. That's okay. And set it aside for a little while. Don't get into the overwhelm aspect of it, but take the actions, take the steps that will get you into momentum, the momentum of moving forward, of moving into the abundance, of doing those things, and combine the practical and the woo. Some people consider energy very woo. Maybe you love crystals and the energy of the crystals that are there. That's great. Maybe you want to check into how the astrological influences are going on for you, particularly in your chart. Do it. Take the next step. Do that. Whether it's logical, illogical, inspired, practical, whatever it is, take the step. Those are going to open doors for you in ways that you did not expect. And I can't wait to see them. So tell me the one thing, come in and put it in here in the comments of what you might be taking part in next. Which one of those 3 things do you really want to amplify for yourself and move forward? So there you go, my friends. There you go. I hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope that you will meet up with me next week on whatever it is that we're going to be talking about that I don't have in front of me right now. Let's do this. Let's have a part of it, and let's join in and change things in your life right now in the way that you want to change them. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope it gave you some quote unquote inspiration to tap into the things that are important to you. And I hope that you will come and share some of what's going on in your life with me. Have a happy day. Also, if you have any questions about what I just chatted about, put it in the comments. You know that I'm here and I will absolutely answer them for you. I look forward to chatting with you guys more. Have a great one, you guys. Ciao. I hope today's episode was interesting to you in some way and fun. If so, hey, find someone to share it with. Maybe they need to hear it too, or maybe they'll just enjoy it. If you'd like, go ahead and grab my tips on supercharging your success. It includes a free short meditation to do just that. You can find that at bit.ly/supercharge your success. Until next time, happy days.